City kids. You want to say hi?
Hi.
We miss you, and Henley and I thought it would be fun to do a little Bible story together and to remind you that the Lord is with you, He loves you, and I thought I'd just share this little encouraging story from 1 Kings, which is a book in the Bible, in the Old Testament. And this is something that really happened, even though it seems impossible to believe. But we wanted to share it with you because it's pretty encouraging. So it starts with some not so encouraging news though. So let's get to it. 1 Kings, he's talking about Elijah the prophet. Things were not going well in the kingdom of Israel. The people worshipped golden calves instead of the true God. Each new king worshipped idols, and they did wrong. Then Ahab became king of Israel in the last years that Asa ruled Judah. Now Ahab was not fit to be king. He was worse than all the other kings of Israel. Not only did he worship the golden calves, but also he married Jezebel, who was a wicked princess. She brought her heathen religion and heathen priests into Israel. Ahab built temples for her gods and worshipped with her. One day, Ahab was much surprised to see a strange-looking man standing before him. The man wore a coat of camel's hair. He was the prophet Elijah who had come to give the king God's message. Because don't forget, that was what the prophet's job was to give God's message to the people. So he came to the king. And before the king had time to ask, the king had time to ask the man what he wanted, Elijah said, "As the Lord God of Israel lives, there shall not be dew or rain throughout the whole land until I announce it." And then Elijah turned and he walked away as suddenly as he came. At first, Ahab paid no attention to Elijah's words, but when the dew didn't appear and the rains stopped, he remembered what Elijah had said. Henley, what's the big deal about having no rain and no dew on the ground? Can you tell the kids? What's the big deal?
You don't get any water, or you can't water plants, or you can't like.
So if you can't water the plants, who else can't eat?
Nobody else.
The animals, the other animals can't eat. Nobody can eat, right?
Right.
So it's a big deal if there's no water and no dew. And at first the king didn't really notice, but when he noticed that the dew wasn't appearing and the rain stopped, then he remembered the prophet Elijah's words. Through the entire kingdom he sent men to look for the prophet, but Elijah couldn't be found. Ahab became alarmed. He knew there would be a famine if there was no rain for the crops. Ahab sent word everywhere, even to other kings, asking each one to help find Elijah. Imagine if all the kings are looking for one man. That's a pretty big search.
Yep.
Now, God, what's that?
And he would just be like hiding really quiet. He's like, "Where is he?"
He's just hiding, huh? So they're looking for him. Everybody's looking for him. And God had told Elijah to go hide by the brook called Cherith. Here, Elijah had water to drink. Each morning and evening, the ravens brought him bread and meat, just as God told them to do. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What did he tell the ravens to do?
Bring him bread and meat and all kinds of stuff to eat.
So every day, the ravens, the birds, brought Elijah food. And there was this one brook, Cherith, that hadn't dried up in the famine. And that was what he drank from. God had special provision for Elijah.
And nobody could find him. And they're all like, "Oh no, where'd he go?"
Oh no, where'd he go? Yes. So every day, the ravens brought him bread and meat just as God had told them. And finally, the brook dried up because there had been no rain in all the land. Then Elijah wondered what to do. And God told him, "Go to Zarephath, and there I have commanded a widow to give you food. And at once Elijah started across Israel to Zarephath. So what do you notice that's pretty awesome about this story?
Well, that all was dried up, and God told him to go there, and because the Pharaohs didn't have more food, but they're gonna have more food when he was there.
So God had told them, the birds, to bring him food, so he had what he needed?
Yeah.
That's right. That's pretty special. So something that I just thought would be really awesome to remind you of is that God isn't limited by what's going on around us. God can provide for his people however he wants to. And so as we're thinking of you and as we're praying for you, I just want to remind you that God can take care of your needs too and my needs too. So be encouraged with this, and next time we're on here, I'll tell you about that widow that God sent Elijah to go see. Because just because this brook dried up didn't mean that God was going to stop providing for Elijah. And he's not going to stop providing for you either. I love you. I hope to see you soon. We miss you. Bye-bye.